can see, I've been getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. There's like 9 on my face alone. You're gonna have to ignore what's going on my bed because I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, I'm in Belgium and I've been here for 3 weeks. It's kind of everything that I hoped it would be. Honeymoon phase, but I think that's fine. I think there's a lot of good foundation being built, so I think that we will be okay. I think I'll be posting a lot more vlogs on here, like places I go and, you know, things that I'm doing. And I wanted to share some of my projects that I've worked on. I've been writing so much. There's 3 parts and I was halfway through the first part, and then within the first 2 weeks I finished. I've been crocheting a lot. I made like a jewelry thing. I'll insert a picture here. I'm making pants right now, so I'm making like granny square pants, and it's like a star and like moon and sun, whatever, and there's gonna be a moth. It's a whole thing. And then I'm making a sweater, and that's actually almost done. So, but yeah, I've written so much. Like, I started writing a musical of mine. It's called Our Mailbox in the Wood. It's about a bunch of old people that basically were best friends in high school and then split off for whatever reason. And then one of their friends goes missing, and they all come back to this hotel, and then they end up getting thrown into a story that they wrote, and it's connected to the 7 deadly sins. It's a whole crazy compilation of things that you wouldn't really think go together, but I'm really loving the way it's turning out. But yeah, I don't know, I'm coming back to kind of brag about Nadine Hodges a little bit because it's turning out so good. Well, like, for a draft. There's 3 POVs, so you know, I was struggling a lot with jumping between the 3 of them in this first draft, and I decided it makes the most sense just to write one all the way through and then go back and write the other all the way through, and then I can fix whatever doesn't make sense later. I'm currently writing the main POV, and it's turning out super interesting. Like, the character dynamics are super good so far. Certain storylines I've been trying to get work for so long are like coming together quickly and like seamlessly. I think I've officially struggled so hard on like aging it up, but I think it's finally like, it's not for kids anymore. I finally achieved that without just adding in more swear words and like disgusting things. So now it's like, no, the content itself is actually just something adults will enjoy more, which I think I'm prouder of. Like, I think that takes more actual skill in writing than like what I used to do. So I think that'll be good. I am just really excited to see this kind of put on the page because I'm coming up with so many creative visual aspects. Like, the narrators are real people, so it's like when this narrator is talking about this specific story, or sometimes they'll come in with like broadcasts or like news, you know, I think the way that I'll have it actually like written on the page will be more like, you know, when they're talking about a story about a deity, I'll have like watercolor illustrations, and it'll almost be like I described it a little bit like in Wednesday when they like cut to the claymation animation. It's nice to kind of break it up with some more visually interesting things. I think that's better for my brain, so I'm playing around with that a little bit. I think it's going to be a very visually stunning book to look at when it's done, but that's years down the road. Right now I'm doing one of those where it's like you're telling a story of Sloane, the goddess of battle, and how she was birthed and created, and she's one of the first exalted gods, which basically just means that she wasn't born a god, she was, you know, exalted is the best word I can think of. It's basically the birth of the modern world. The story directly mirrors what's going to happen a little bit in the second part, which might be a little bit spoiler, but I don't really think it is because it's not super obvious. It's just like, for me, I know that it mirrors it a little bit. You know. I think I'll probably jump back to Charles and Dahlia when the Halloween hits, because that's my like little mini mystery series. So, but maybe I'll start posting some of those on here because those stories are just cute. Just something to keep you guys occupied. And right now you guys means no one, but it'll be fine. I think you have to talk like you have a lot of followers and viewers, and then eventually you'll get them. Right? That's how it works, right? Because that's how I think it works. Alright, well, I forgot to put my mic on. This happens several times in this video, which is quite unfortunate. But anyways, as always, ignore the room. I'm just going to do a quick voiceover for this because I think it's still, like, I talk about a lot of stuff that I want to keep in, but you literally can't hear me over the noise of the camera. I tried to put the volume up, I tried to edit it, it doesn't work. So we're just going to do a voiceover, and you're going to look at my face, and what I'm saying isn't going to match my lips. Yay! So basically, I'm just talking about my day here in the beginning. Like, I had a call with my Grammy later that day, and then I also had a study session at like a local cafe and library with one of my friends. So it was kind of an eventful day. Super cool, super fun. This was the week after the first clip, so it was the Wednesday I was supposed to be posting, but I didn't have time to record anything else, and I didn't want to put out like only 7 minutes of film. So I decided to do 2 weeks. So, you know, I filmed a little bit more over the course of this week, and that will be going out this coming Wednesday, so it's more like 2 weeks between each videos, which I think will give me more time to actually put stuff together and edit. So I think that's probably what the new schedule is going to be, but either way, this was the middle of my 5th week, so we're almost at the end of it now. I'm almost at Saturday. Time is flying very quickly. But yeah, we were, you know, part 2 is starting off strong. I'm almost done with Nadine's part of it, because, you know, of course, part 2 focuses on a different POV character, because I love myself, and, you know, I love torturing myself. But yeah, so Nadine only has like 4 chapters, and I'm almost done, but one of those chapters is entirely letters, and that's the chapter that I'm talking about here, because it's giving me a lot of trouble, because it's from another character to Nadine, and like several other people, but it's it's a character POV I haven't written in, a character voice I've never experimented with, and I'm really struggling to make it interesting to read a full chapter of just letters while also making the letters feel authentic and realistic, natural. Like, this character that's writing to Nadine, they're friends, like long-term childhood friends, so like I want it to feel human, and, you know, it's just, I'm struggling with it, but I fixed the mic now. I didn't have my mic on. But anyway, yeah, I'm writing the letters right now. I already wrote a draft of them. They're not long enough, they're not interesting enough, they're not what I want them to be, but they're fine. It's a draft, I can work with that. But it'll be interesting to see how it comes together. It's also a character I haven't really explored in the story all that much. Like, she's constantly there, but she's not really affecting anything so far. Her role becomes bigger as the story goes on, so it's important for her to be a character I can write in, but it's just, she's one that I haven't explored yet. Maybe I can, like, whirlwind finish the draft within the next couple months, and then as soon as winter months hit, then I can just relax and, like, don't have to worry about it. Those will be the months that I leave it be before I go back and edit. Maybe I can write some other things, you know, some Charles and Dahlia, or I can jump over to Butterfly Effect, which is just a novella series that is actually really important to Nadine Hodges. And truthfully, I think they'll get released before Nadine Hodges gets released, because it's important to know the characters. I don't want to spoil too much, but it is, you know, Butterfly Effect has a butterfly effect on the Nadine Hodges series, and it's something I would recommend reading before, so I think they'll probably get published before. But I haven't written any of them, so I think that's coming next. I also have a book I really want to start reading. One of my friends here gave it to me. She was like, when I explained what my book was, Nadine Hodges, she was like, I think you will like this, and I was like, okay. It's been a week since the last time I filmed. Oops. But it's been a very busy week. I did a lot of schoolwork today because I have 3 study blocks, so I was like, okay, let's knock out my math and economics and, you know, my geography, and I was just translating away. And I think I'm picking up on some things now. Like, I understand some of the language. You know, pronunciation is hard, but I think there's like levels to learning language, and I'm on the reading and understanding part. There's no further updates on the crochet projects. On my life, I'm not really sure what I can share. I have a trip to Gent this Saturday, and I think that'll be fun. I'm taking the train with 2 people that live like close by. One of them lives like literally down the street. I'll add those pictures and any videos I get in here, because I think that'll be perfect. So I forgot again to put the mic on, but that's okay. So I'm just going to do another quick voiceover, and this is the last one you'll see for this video, I think. Hopefully. So anyway, the day I filmed this was Friday. It's also the day I'm recording this and the past voiceover. So I'm home from school because of back pain and chest pain. Kept me up all night last night, pretty much, and we went to the doctor's today, and she told me that it could just be strained muscles, or it could be a muscular degenerative disease, so time will tell. But on another note, I've been thinking a lot more about the project I'm going to do after this, and, you know, like the butterfly effect, which I don't think that I will keep that name, but I think for now it just makes the most sense to call it that because, you know, for consistency's sake. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot more about that and, you know, brainstorming the characters and the storylines. I made a whole list of all the people, and it's 9 novellas in total with 12 characters, which does not include our main girl, Vanessa, so we'll see, how I can pull that off, I guess. But either way, I made the list and have started sort of like working on it, or at least refamiliarizing myself with it. I really have my work cut out for me. I forgot that Charles and Dahlia are one of the novellas, and I really don't know how I managed to forget that, but that's okay. But there's a couple different worlds. The Charles and Dahlia world is a lot like Nancy Drew meets Sherlock Holmes. It's very, you know, mystery, cozy. So there's that one. There's also AI and robots take over the world. There's an alien invasion. On another Earth, there's one world about myths coming to life, so I got to do a lot of research into different cultures for that. That's the only one that I've even tried to draft at some point in my life, and I still have it, obviously, but it's not one of my favorite things I've ever written. Yeah, and then there's also, like, even a, like, prehistoric dinosaur world that's, like, Indiana Jones meets Jurassic Park, so there's a whole wide range of genres and world building and characters, and I think it'll be certainly interesting to see how and if I'm able to pull it off. But yeah, I've really only written full-length novels or like short stories for like Instagram. I have never written a novella. It's a completely different style of writing, and I think the only novellas I recognized when I looked up a list were The Chronicle of a Death Foretold and Of Mice and Men, so those are the only ones that I even remember reading. So it'll definitely be interesting to see if I, can use any of that knowledge or if I have to go read some more. But yeah, the Butterfly Effect is nothing like either of those books, so we'll definitely have to see how it all turns out, because I think as of right now it's definitely going to be a lot of, flying by the seat of our pants, if you will. I keep forgetting to put the mic on. It'll be interesting to see what happens and where I go with it, because I think it's gonna be complicated to work out. But yeah, I finally revisited that. We kind of understand more of what I'm getting myself into, and I'm getting excited for that. I've also done a lot more writing for the letters, trying to make them work. Working with another character's voice is so difficult. The train's going by. But I think I'm starting to get a better grasp on how the letter needs to be. I do want it to be quite substantial. I want the chapter to be all letters, and typically the chapters are about 10 pages max. And that's like in a regular doc format, so they're quite big chapters. And obviously, if I need to cut it down, I will. But if I can make it interesting to read and make it substantial, that would be the goal. But obviously size is not what matters, it's the quality. But yeah, that's kind of more of an update. I have Gent tomorrow, because it's Saturday. If I go, which right now we're kind of like up in the air about because my back pain is really bad. It's not like debilitating, but it's not comfortable, and especially Gent is going to be a lot of walking around all day. But if I do end up going, I'll, try to get some clips on here and try to get some pictures and stuff, and I think it'll be fun to see. But yeah, I think that's a decent update.